Imagine the best Purim Suda you ever had in your entire life. It was incredible. Your best friends, the best wine, the best food. Everything was the best. You sang and you danced and you said Divrei Torah. It was an absolutely incredible experience. Now think for a second. Imagine that every single minute of your life was like that Purim Suda. You had that feeling of love, of closeness, of warmth, of kindness, of joy. Every single second of your life was like that Purim Suda. Is that possible? Is it possible to reach such a level of pleasure, of joy, of excitement, of vibrance in this world? And the answer is that it's possible. It is possible. Yeah? And the way, the means, the method to get to that is coming up this week on a Yontif, which is perhaps the least understood Yontif of the entire Jewish calendar. And I'm talking about the Yontif of Purim Katan. On the 14th and maybe the 15th of Adar Rishon, we celebrate the Yontif of Purim Katan. And Purim Katan, very few people know what Purim Katan is about. Purim Katan, on a year when there's a leap year, we make Purim on the second Adar and not in the first Adar. But the first Adar, the 14th, and maybe the 15th of the first Adar, is called Purim Katan. And for most people, the only recognition of Purim Katan is no Tachanun and Shul. We don't say Lav Datseach. But the Ramah and Shulchan Aruch, in the very last Sibud of Aruch Chaim, says that some people have a minhag to make a Suda, and in fact, some Rishonim bring that they had an actual Purim Suda and Purim Katan. And the Ramah, after quoting this halacha, he quotes a pasuk in Mishlei, Tov Leiv Mishtatamid. If you have a good heart, then life is like a constant banquet. Going back to that best Purim Suda you ever had, the wine and the food and the people and the friends and the dancing and the singing. Tov Leiv Mishtatamid. If you have a good heart, your life could be constantly like that. Your life could be a constant party. Everything is good and warm and sweet and kind. But how do you get there? The secret, the answer to that question lies in Purim Katan. The 14th of Adar, this Tuesday, the 14th of Adar. If we prepare and celebrate this Yontif properly, then we can touch on the experience of Tov Lev Mishatabit, of having a constant experience of the best Purim Suda we ever had, every single day, every single minute, every single second. And the question, what I want to work on this week, is how do we get to Tov Lev? How can we change our hearts to make it a Tov Lev? And I'm not talking about exercise or vitamins or um, or good food, good diet. That's of course important because you have to guard your health. What I'm talking about is to change our hearts, is to revamp, is to make our heart Tov. And that's a very hard process. It's perhaps one of the most difficult processes that a person can have in his life. And the Groa speaks about this at great length. We're going to discuss it this week, of what it means to be a Tov Lev, what it means to have a good heart. Because to have a good heart is not just to be a good person. I remember Ramir Kahana, who got me here to Eretz Israel when I was in Bronx High School of Science as a 14-year-old um, freshman in Bronx High School of Science many moons ago. He came to speak. He said, "You're all in the wrong school. Yeah? You should go to Israel and learn Torah." And he would speak about cardiac Jews, Jews at heart. Now, of course, he was right. It's not good to be a Jew at heart and not a Jew at action. But there's something about, not something, there's a lot about being a Jew at heart, but not just being a Jew at heart, but being Tov Lev. Tov Lev, we're going to see, is one of the most important attributes that a Jew could have. It's something which transforms him. It makes him a different person. It transforms his life to the extent that Mishtatamit. Every second of his day is the best Purim Surah he ever had. It's the same thing, just without the wine, without the food, and without the vomiting, Baruch Hashem, without the mess to clean up for the women afterwards. Tov Lev Mishtatamit. And this is what Purim Katan is all about. But of course, if we don't understand what a Tov Lev is, if we don't have the secret, if we don't have the means and the secret how to get the Tov Lev, then we can't have Mishta Tamid. And we want to have Mishta Tamid. Mesilas Yesharim says, we're in this world for pleasure. This Anigel Hashem for onig, right? Am medush de onig. We are a nation which is saturated with pleasure. And as I stare here at the stairway which is going of the Arabs, which is going up to the Har Habayis. And I'm thinking to myself, why is that their stairway? Why is that our stairway? Why don't we have a base of Migdash today? Sitting here at the coastal, thinking that. And the answer is because we're lacking Tov Lev. Not in the walls of that building, but in our Lev. The base of Mikdash exists, says the Malbim and the Maral. The base of Mikdash exists in the heart of every Jew. It's not a building. It's not about stones. The base of Mikdash is about the heart of every Jew. When the heart of every Jew has been fixed, transformed, has become Tov Lev, then Mishti Tamid. We'll have a base of Mikdash and we'll celebrate. We'll be a Korban Todah and a Korban Shlamim and every single Korban. And this is our job. Our job as Jews is to transform our hearts. And the day to have the greatest impact on transformation is Purim Katan. On Purim Katan, we come to an incredibly high recognition and level of Tov Lev Mishta Tamid. So Hashem should give us the greatest Siyata Shemaya this week to help us prepare, to help us to know what Purim Katan is all about, and to become a Tov Lev. And Bezrat Hashem, if we become a Tov Lev, then we'll be Mekayim the Pasuk, Tov Lev Mishta Tamid, every single day of our life, every hour, every minute, every second will be like the best Purim Seder we ever had. Amen.